Hey guys, Stacy here, We Grow Again. I just want to do a quick video on the potting soil I make for my cucumbers, all my veggies and herbs, my compost that I top it off with. Like you see here, I put some fresh soil that I mixed up on here so it can give it some good calcium, magnesium it needs, and just an extra boost. And I do this for all my containers. I get all my containers in ground ready this way. All my little seed starter cups right there, my styrofoam cups. This is how I mix my soil for everything. The only soil I don't use this for is my succulents. But this is Bush Doctor, that's the name brand, and it's a Coco Loco mixture, and it works really good. It keeps your plants nice and healthy, producing fruit. It has tons of nutrients in it. Back-guano, compost, bacillus, which is a natural bacteria. Just so much, guys. I can't even read because there's such a big list on here. Coconut fiber, just everything. And I find this is the best potting soil. A lot of people around here in Florida where I live are starting to go to this just because you don't need to do very much to the plants once you plant them in it. You can see they're nice and healthy. They have the nutrients they need. They're not lacking anything, and if they are lacking something, I'm going to show you how I make my top. Now, I made this top mixture here with calcium, and now the reason why you want to put calcium in your soil is because it really gives it good bones and doesn't develop blossom end rot in the long run. Plants mostly get blossom end rot, and this goes for any fruiting plant, whether it's cucumbers, tomatoes, zucchini, pumpkin, blueberries, blackberries, anything that produces a flower and fruit, this goes for. And lack of calcium ends up causing blossom end rot. So you don't want that, because then, all your blossoms will rot out. Anything that pollinated, your cucumbers tend to get rot on the end of it, like I showed you my pumpkin did that I was so angry about. So this is why I'm making this mixture, guys. And all you do is put your Coco Loco in your bucket. Now, I'm only doing this as a topper, so I'm not using too much soil. I have it about a quarter of the way full, and I buy a 16-pound bag of perlite. Perlite is a really lightweight aeration for roots. It provides good air around the roots and just gives it good drainage in the long run. So you just want to add a little bit up in there. You can see there wasn't much perlite. It does have perlite in it, this soil, but not too much. You can see the soil's pretty wet. That came out of the bag. It's all pre-moistened, so it's pretty wet, and this stays really clumpy. So I just add a little perlite till you see some color in there. You can see all that white. And then in about a quarter of this is a 5-gallon bucket, I put about 2 or 3 eggshells, finely crushed up like this. You want to kind of turn them into a powder. And I'm going to put about half of this. I'm not going to put the whole thing. Well, I guess I did. That's okay. Too much calcium doesn't hurt. It's only about 3 eggshells I got in there anyways. You want to mix it up. And now, like I said, I get ready for all my container gardening, everything. This is how I make everything. I even toss this up in my garden beds. I'm going to do my peppers here, and I'm going to put some in here. Mix it up. Now what I do is I take some magnesium Epsom salt, all natural, there's nothing in it, no flavors, no scents. Just put about a tablespoon. I just eyeball it, guys. It's really no big deal when you're doing it in the soil like this. Now that's not going to dissolve unless you put water in. So what I do to give this little guy an extra boost is I mix it up, and now I put tablespoon of Bonnie nutrients for veggies and herbs, just all natural nutrients for them, in a gallon of water, and then I water the soil, and that's going to dilute that magnesium. It's going to start breaking down the eggshells as soon as it gets wet, and then over a month, them eggshells will be pretty much all the way decomposed, and then you can add some more eggshells in your soil. Like this one, you can see she's pretty big. I started my soil the same exact way as I just did that, and that's all I do for my soil. That's how I get my soil ready for everything. And once I get it potted, a month later and every month here on then, I put a nice topping of this compost. And that really helps to give it the calcium it needs. Now you might develop some blossom end rot, or the end of the fruit right here on your pumpkin, zucchini is really moldy, and that can be caused from no calcium. The plant might not be taking up water. You might not be watering it too much. Water is so vital to plants' growth. Make sure you're watering your container gardens a lot more, and you're checking them a lot more than your ground, because these are going to dry out a lot faster than in the ground. So I give these water pretty much every day I come out here and give them a good soaking, or every other day. It depends. If it's raining, then I don't water. But if it's not going to rain, then I go ahead and I water all the way through. Now, you don't want to soak your containers all the way through till the point where they're draining out of the bottom, because that's going to cause you to wash out all the nutrients you just put in there out. So just give it a water all the way through. Go to this one, water it a little bit, make sure it's draining. Once you start seeing it running out of the bottom, you know it's good enough, and you're good. You can leave it alone. Go on to the next one, keep doing it, and just give it a little at a time. Don't like sopping wet that at once. You don't want that water pooling in there. Give it a little drink, let it soak, saturate that soil, and then you can go back to it and give it another water. As far as the blossom end rot, guys, I add calcium, eggshells, and magnesium in my soil with that compost every month, from the beginning stages of my plant on to fruiting and to harvest till the very end. Every month I add that fresh compost soil on there, and that's going to really help prevent that blossom end rot. Now, you can develop blossom end rot from a couple of more things, like too much heat. It might be too hot. Cucumbers and especially tomatoes are struggling so much in the heat already that, any temperature above 85, it's really not going to want to flower and produce a fruit. It can't. It's just struggling too much. It's trying to survive as it is in this summer heat. It's still so hot here in Florida. It's probably about reaching 90 to 95 degrees every day. The humidity's up because we're getting rain. So I'm getting a lot of mold popping up, and that just happens. It happens this time of year. You just got to take care of it and be on top of your plants. Make sure you're pruning them out, thinning them out, getting rid of any leaves that are overlapping each other or plants that are overlapping each other. That's going to keep your plants nice and healthy and pest-free, disease-free. Let some airflow get in there between leaves, tie them off if you have to. Just tie it up. It's not going to hurt the plant. And another reason you get blossom end rot, like I did on my pumpkin, let me take you over here. This I got blossom end rot twice on. I had such a nice pollination on it a week ago and what happened was it rotted off. And it was right there. You can kind of see where it's dying off that branch, right where the bottom of the flower is. And that's because she wasn't getting enough calcium. And because of all this rain, you can tell all that leaf spot, powdery mildew stuff is on there. And I controlled this quite a bit. This has calmed down a lot since a few days ago. It's not spreading so much to those leaves right there. But you can see how it attacked these. And this happens, and I've been treating this. Check out my video on treating powdery mildew if you need help on that. But I got blossom end rot on this, and I figured out it's because it's too hot, number one. The plant's already struggling to survive in the heat, so pushing out a fruit, it will just kill the plant. So the plant's like, no, I'm going to wait till the weather calms down, and then I'll push your fruit out. So you just got to be patient, guys. That's the main thing. Another reason why you might not be getting fruit or full fruit is because it's not mature yet. Plants might not be fruiting because it's just not time. Once they're mature, then they'll fruit and flower and do what they have to do. So just remember that, guys. And one thing on nutrients is don't give too much nitrogen, because too much nitrogen causes too much leaf growth and not enough blossoms. So this way, you hold back on the nitrogen and that bonding nutrients once every 2 weeks in the ground, and then you put them eggshells in here just at the base. You want to put it at the base of your plant like I did here. I topped this off with some nice compost. You can kind of see them eggshells up in there. And that's it, guys. You want to do that once a month. And if it's really lacking something, try to get some more calcium in there. I use CalMag. CalMag is a substitute for nutrients in between. Like if you need it during flowering stage, it really helps to give a lot of calcium and potassium in the soil. It's called CalMag. Let me see if I can show you guys really quick. because this video is about done. We're done. My doggy's hanging out, guys. I hope that helped you in the best way possible to keep your plants healthy. Let me see if I have her. Yep, right here. This is what I use, CalMag. And it's a 200, it says, but it actually has 3% calcium, 0.5% magnesium, which you don't have to worry about magnesium too much because you're using that with your Epsom salt. Your Epsom salt's going to give you magnesium. Now this is 2% nitrogen, which is fine. That's low. So just make sure when you're using this, you're backing off on your Bonnie a little bit. You're holding off. Don't do this at the same time as your Bonnie. Treat with your Bonnie nutrients or regular nutrients first 1 week, and then if you're watering twice that week, the next watering you can water with this one, and then the next one switch back to your regular nutrients. And that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to show you. I hope that helps you. I'm going to get more eggshells ready, and I'm going to put some coffee in my blueberry and blackberry. Now, I only put coffee in plants that seem to be developing blossom and rot quite a bit. I put a teaspoon per pot or per plant, and then I just mix it in there and water it in there. Tomatoes, you want to go on the lighter side with coffee because they really don't like coffee too much, but it does help with that. Now, I add coffee grinds. Blueberries and blackberries are very acidic loving plants. So that means their acidity level for blueberries, they should be a 4.5 to a 5.5. For blackberries, I believe it's a 5.5 to a 6.5, and I keep it about a 6. And these coffee grinds, a tablespoon per gallon of water. You can put it in a water jug per gallon of water, a tablespoon of coffee grinds, and then just water your soil with it in your blueberry and blackberry, and that'll help to adjust the pH and get it to where your plants are healthy and producing. Poor pH on blueberries and blackberries or any plant will cause poor growth and no fruit. Just so you know. Till next time, I hope you enjoyed my video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.